looked at your bank account and asked, where did it all go? Well, today I have a challenge for you. Let me introduce to you the 7-day no spend challenge. And I'm going to show you how to do it without completely losing your mind. This is perfect for you if you're a stay-at-home mum trying to cut costs, if you've got a savings goal you're working towards, or if you just simply want a financial reset. Now, I have done this before and I always come out with so much clarity, a little bit of extra savings and motivation to cut things down where I don't need to be spending. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What is a 7-day no spend challenge? And the simple definition is that you just don't spend money outside of your necessities. You obviously are going to keep paying for your bills, you're going to keep paying for your rent, all that sort of thing, but you're not going to go out, you're not going to order Uber Eats, you're not going to go and spend money on coffee or drinks or go to the movies. It's just everything is staying in your bank account. If you want to go a little step further, and this is what we did, shop from your pantry and your freezer, go through everything, make a big list of what you've got, and don't go to the grocery shop. Now, why does doing this even matter? There are 3 key things that I want to share with you right now that are going to improve if you do fulfill this challenge. The first one, it's going to help reset your spending habits. You're going to notice where you're spending money, where you're not spending money, and maybe where you're overspending a little bit here and there. Secondly, you are going to get mindful about your needs versus your wants. You need that bar of chocolate? Probably, but do you really need it? No. Can you save it for that week? That's $6 going towards your savings. And thirdly, you're going to notice any emotional triggers. If you feel sad or you get angry and you're like, oh, you know what, this is going to make me feel better, I'm going to buy a $200 dress online. I have done that, I regret it, and I only sold it for, I don't know, I think it was like $100, all because I was upset about something that was actually really minor and could have been worked out with a conversation. This is going to show you so much about yourself, and what you do with all of this information can really benefit you if you take the time to notice. Now, if you are a Christian, I would encourage you to meditate over Luke 16. This is what verse 10 says: "One who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much. And one who is dishonest in a very little is also dishonest in much." I'm sure you've heard it before, but if you do well with little, you can do well with a lot. Let's talk how to prepare for a no spend week. I have a list of tips and tricks here, so let's work through them. First of all, check the inventory of your fridge, your pantry, your freezer, your bathroom. Step number 2 is plan around what you've got. If you've got frozen meat, figure out what you can do. And I can tell you this pays off, because 1 month we spent over $200 at the bakery. That's for 2 adults. That is insane. So make sure you're planning around what you actually have. Now, the third thing when you're preparing is to write down any known spending triggers. Coffee runs, if you're scrolling on your phone and you want to just buy things, figure out what they are and actually write them down. When they do come up, you'll be able to refer back and go, no, I'm not doing this. I'm going to be disciplined for 7 whole days. Write down what you actually want to buy if you are scrolling, so that you can look back at it and think, do I actually want that, or was I just responding out of an emotional trigger? Preparation number 4, talk with your family so everyone's on board. As a rule of thumb, if you can do everything from home, bring it with you. That is the key, and to have everyone support and encourage you as you do this. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Creating a temptation buffer list. What to do instead of spending. Now, in a few chapters in this video, I'll go over a few ideas of suggestions that you can do instead of spending. If you really like buying a weekly coffee or buying a weekly bakery, challenge yourself to bake a pie from home, make the pastry from home, make the meat, make the gravy, do all that sort of thing at home. And if you're a coffee person, get a really nice thermos of coffee. Go to a beautiful location that you've not been to or haven't been to in a while. Take that. You're still going to have the end result of, I'm drinking coffee in a nice location that's not my home, or I'm having a delicious pie, but actually now I've upskilled and I've learned how to make a pie. The first time I ever made a pie, oh my gosh, I felt like I was the coolest person ever, and it just unlocked something in me where I was like, man, I am so capable of making pies. I think that paid off so much, as opposed to just going to the bakery and just paying someone else to make it. So make that temptation buffer list of things that you can do instead of going out to spend that money. Alright, let's talk about what to expect and common pitfalls. Starting a no spend week is so exciting. You've got that buzz of like, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna use what I've got, I'm gonna be so disciplined and so diligent, and I'm so here for that, and I support that, I celebrate that with you. I've done it, I've been there. But then inevitably what commonly happens is you're riding this high and then you hit this low point here. You've got the midweek slump, you're eating ramen for dinner over thermos coffee. You want to, you know, you're living vicariously through people's stories of where they're going and who they're seeing, and you're popping popcorn on the stove at your house with this YouTube video on in the background. I totally get it. The mid-week slump can be really hard, but I think a really good analogy for this is when you join a gym membership and you've got a 6-week challenge. That first 1 to 2 weeks you're doing great, but then inevitably what happens, at least for me, I want a sugary treat. I want a donut. I want to get like a little licorice from the dairy. I want to buy the mixed bag of lollies. I know that if I push through to the end, the results are going to be so worth it. And the thing is, a 7-day challenge is literally 7 days. It's not that hard. Like, you can do it. Just push yourself. You're going to have so many savings that are going to be tucked away afterwards. If you think it's too long, do like a 2-day stint. But honestly, I think that's cheating. Do a 7-day. You will thank yourself so much for that. And then the last part after that mid-week slump is you're going to go down, up, and you'll hit that breakthrough. You'll push through the hard stuff, and remember, you can do hard things. Push through that hard thing, come out the other side, put those savings from the week to whatever it is you're saving towards. Another thing that you might experience are these 3 things. We've got FOMO, we've got guilt, and we've got craving comfort spending. I've done that. I've been there. It's hard, but you can do it. And I think the thing that you can do in these moments is refer back to your temptation buffer list, or wait for the next chapter where I talk about things you can do instead. Okay, this next one I did once during our no spend week, which is the temptation to make exceptions. The exception that we made was $3.49 to buy toothpaste for our children. Obviously, I'm not going to not buy toothpaste for my child, but I was very set on like, no, I'm not going to spend money out of our automatic payments and our rents that are coming out. I think this one is really common for women, is like, oh, I've just started my period, I need chocolate, or like I need this. It's like, no, you don't need it to survive. You'll be okay. So this is a bit of tough love. You don't need it. It's 7 days. If you make one exception, you're just gonna have to start all over again, and you're gonna feel bad about it. You're not gonna create the momentum. So go back to your temptation buffer list and see what you can do instead. And I think for things where it's like you've got a birthday or you've got a special occasion, what can you make at home to bring to that table? If you've got something where there's an outing or a celebration, this is what I've just invested in. This is the Bake by Brookie by Brooke Bellamy. It is full of incredible recipes, cakes, cookies. I mean, look at that. That just looks amazing. For the rest of the year, I will be baking things from this book. I will not be going out and spending $80 on a cake, thank you. I'll probably spend $80 on the ingredients. But it's gonna be worth it. And I think the thing that people don't talk about when you make things at home versus when you have the convenience of buying them is that you get the benefit of upskilling. You're learning something. Sure, it takes a little bit of time, but then when you present this cake or you're eating this cheesecake, I think there's something really special about knowing I've done this, I've made this, it's all made with love. And yeah, it's just a great conversation point. If you've got something like a birthday or a celebration, I so encourage you to buy a cookbook. You can go to the op shop. Don't buy it on your no spend week though. Go on Pinterest and then look for something like the Bake with Brookie book. And in those times when you are tempted to make an exception for something, write it down. Write why do you want to make that temptation and what can I do instead. And if you are continually doing these no spend challenges, for us we would love to do them once a month. You can refer back to that. Okay, this is why I wanted to do it last time. How am I going to prepare and prevent myself to do it next time? Okay, now this one's got a little bit more of a positive spin from the last 3 points that I just talked about, and that is to discuss and review and celebrate your wins, realizing how much that you actually have, the feeling of peace, and getting creative. I was blown away by the things that I experienced, learned, my takeaways from the first no spend that we did, of realizing we had hundreds of dollars of meals in our pantry, and I just had to like reach to that top back left hand corner to find the tin that then allowed me to make this homemade marinara sauce so that I could make my sourdough pizza. And then I made a slow cooked beef that was sitting in the freezer, and then we put that on the pizza, and then we grated a whole lot of cheese so we didn't waste it, and then I made a barbecue sauce with honey that I'd bulk bought for 13 a kilo instead of 60. Anyway, it's just such a ramble, but it was such a big win of like, could have just gone to Domino's. Could have just gone to Domino's. Now I can say that I have made full complete pizza from scratch, knowing that process and being able to involve my children in it. You know when you eat something really good and it's just like, oh, your whole body melts? That was exactly how I felt when I made that. And there's something like, you can't buy that feeling of feeling so proud of yourself. Actually just journaling every day. What was something that you did that you were so proud of yourself for? What was something that you learned today? What was something you did differently? There is a lot you can do with a little, and I think you would genuinely genuinely really surprise yourself with what you can achieve with not much. So stick to that no spend week. Okay, now here is a short list of things you can do instead of spending. Number 1, declutter a space or drawer. For me, this back area here of my bedside table looks like a disheveled library. I always have like 5 books on the go, 4 books on the go. It's dusty, I have plants, I don't have plants, there's mugs. Clean, declutter, put things back to the library. It could be your junk drawer, it could be a wardrobe, it could be a spare room, it could be the cupboard underneath your bathroom sink, whatever. Just pick one thing, do it instead of going out, and I promise you that dopamine hit will be so worth it. Let's move on to thing number 2 you can do. Organize your budget or review your expenses. We're talking about not spending money, so let's review where the money has actually been going. I use the Coplenty Advanced Budget template. I've got a link down below for my discount code. I highly recommend it, and there's something really cool about it that I love is every day I will track my transactions. I'll select the expense or the category that it goes into, and it will automatically top up where on the spreadsheet it needs to go, and then I will have at the end of the month a percentage breakdown of where that money has gone from, so the percentage of my total income. If you're doing a no spend to save money, or you're doing a no spend to cut down your expenses and you're not budgeting, make it make sense. Just download the budget and get onto that, because you will see serious results when you start taking your budgeting seriously. And look, you're halfway there. You're doing a no spend challenge. Hit that finish line and build that momentum to creating all of your saving goals into a reality. Okay, the next thing you can do instead of spending is cook something from scratch. This could be super basic. It could be learning how to make a roux for a pasta instead of buying pasta sauce. It could be making a gravy from your chicken stock. There are some really basic things that you can do. And if you're a slightly more seasoned baker, or you make a lot of things from scratch, again, this book, it's my favorite baking book right now. I'm going to do a Julia and Julia sort of thing with it, and I'm actually going to work through everything in this book. And so yeah, if you're a bit more seasoned, a bit more experienced, a bit more confident in the kitchen, find a new recipe you haven't done and give that a go. But one thing quickly on baking, make sure you're using the metric system, not the cup system, to ensure that you're getting a more accurate result. Now the next thing you can do is deep clean a room. This is not for the faint-hearted. We're talking baseboards, scrub the walls, get rid of expired items. I have done this to our bathroom and it changed everything. I highly recommend you start there. If you're overwhelmed, just do your bathroom. The next thing that you can do is go for a nature walk. An hour away we have a beautiful redwood forest. You know, we've got the hour there, listen to a podcast. If you're close to a beach, go for a beach walk. Go for a walk around your street and just see what birds you can listen to. Okay, the next thing you can do instead of spending is do a DIY spa night. And if you want to take this another level, if you don't have face masks hidden in your fridge, see what you can make from the items in your pantry, such as honey and oat, brown sugar. Put a diffuser on, put some candles on, put some lo-fi on. Just enjoy being in your own home. Bonus tip, journal what your money wins so far if you're doing your no spend challenge. Okay, the last one, and this is one of my favorite ones. This is something we do regardless of a no spend week, and that is to pray over your finances and ask for God's wisdom. If you are a Christian like me, I have a belief that, you know, God has provided us with everything we have, and it is our responsibility to steward what we have well. Obviously we're not perfect, we make mistakes, but my husband and I, once a week, we sit down with our finances and we will pray for God's blessing over our finances, that we would have the wisdom to spend well, to invest well, that we would be able to find the best deals on the food, that he would give us, you know, the ideas for that sort of thing. Yeah, I feel like this one's a little bit open-ended, like how you pray and your relationship with God is so intimate and personal to you, but it's just the point of connecting with God over your finances, praying for his blessing, praying for his wisdom, and also praying for his prosperity. I really believe that God wants to bless us as his children, and yeah, I think something that's really special when you do have finances is the ability to bless others. If you're doing a no spend week and you don't want to save the money, one thing that you could do alternatively is donate all of that to your local food bank or a local missions that you believe in. Okay, these are the topics that we've discussed so far. Part 1, what is a no spend week? Part 2, how to prep for a no spend week. Part 3, what to expect and common challenges. And part 4, 7 things to do instead of spending. Alright, we're up to our final chapter, part 5. this is your invitation to join. This is your call to action to do a no spend week. Now the root of this challenge, it's not about deprivation, it's about discipline, it's about working hard, it's about using what you've got, and most of all for me it is about reclaiming your peace. If what I've been sharing really strikes a chord with you, if you want to partake on this, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you if you're doing the full no groceries, use up your pantry, or if you just want to give it a go. I'd love to support and celebrate that with you. If you'd like to see our no spend, I've got the video linked up here as well for you to check out. Good luck with your no spend 7-day challenge, and I'll see you in the next one.